God, correct? Man, if you come to church all mad, then I don't know why you come. Why you come, man? If you come to church and be mad, go home and be mad. I love being in the house of God. It's fun to be up here, even if I mess songs up, jack them up. My daughter's face, I'm like, oh. And so she looks at me like, are you kidding me? You sang this song like 27 million times and you can't sing it. And Janet bailed me out, and you were right about G. So there you go. There you go. I you know, you're right. I was wrong. You know, Tommy. I had to tell her she was right. I was wrong. So you won't be able to live with her the rest of the week. Amen. Amen. I'm going to talk to you just a little bit, and I'll let you out. Okay? Can I talk to you just a little bit and let you out? Okay. This morning, I love this series of why, and I just had fun putting it together. But why salvation and why baptism, and I'm not going to tell you what the other whys are, because I want you to go back and hear them. And so, I love to answer questions. You know, I said something a couple months ago about the church answers questions that nobody's asking. So we give answers to questions nobody's asking. And so I told God, I said, God, I want to do something that I want to preach a series on answer some questions, you know. And so I love the series of why, because it's taking us from one place to another place. It's taking us from just knowing we're supposed to do it as to why we're supposed to do it. Because if you don't know why you're supposed to do something, you won't do it. You know why? Why? I don't know. And so we need to get better at what we're about doing some other things. I think I'm going to blame Sister Brenda for jacking up my. It doesn't feel right. Okay. Amen. But tonight I'm not going to do why. That's for Sunday mornings. Tonight I'm going to talk to you about God making us a change. God making us somebody that changes everything. God making us somebody that He can point to and say, you know what? I called them. How many believe that you have a calling on your life? Really? How many of you really believe you have a calling on your life? That God has called you for a purpose and a reason. If you're not in this church tonight because you didn't have anywhere else to go, now maybe that's some of you didn't have anywhere else to go, so you came to church tonight. Maybe some of us came to church because it's habit, and we come on Sunday night, is what we do. Maybe some of us came to church because we just wanted to. You know? There's all kinds of reasons why people come to church. But I want to talk to you for just a minute about, I believe that you're sitting here today because God has a calling on your life. God has something special for you to do. God has something that He wants you to do for Him. God has something extraordinary that only you can do. Look at me. Only you can do it. Not everybody can do what you can do. Not everybody can pick their sister's toe in the middle of church. Not everybody can do that, but God has called Matthew to be a toe picker. I know. Not everybody can do that. Sorry, man. It was funny. Okay, so, but not everybody has, what did you call it? What's her name? What's her name? Huh? No, not her. No, what? You and Tanner called that in. Okay, but not everybody can do that. Not everybody can do what you guys can do. God has a call on your life. There's some people that can sing. There's some people that don't need to sing. Amen? I'm one of them need to, evidently, because I messed up the song. Okay? And so then there's some that are just so skilled at playing, and then there's people that are just, you fake it and you just try to do stuff, you know? There's some people that are really skilled at breaking down the Word of God, and there's some people that think they're skilled and they're really not. I may fall in that category, I don't know. But here's the deal though, there's some that God has called to do some amazing things, and sometimes we try to get into our own little niche instead of listening to what God has called us to do. Could you imagine if Moses had tried to build an ark? You with me? What if Moses had tried to build an ark, or Noah had tried to deliver Israel, or what happens What happens if Joshua says no and Caleb leads Israel? What happens if, what's going on in that issue? So we have to be that person that God has changed. We got to be that person that God has called to change. For here for just a second. In this city right now, there's a group of people, they're called the citizens of Seminole and the surrounding area. And they're looking for somebody to lead them somewhere to do something. Because I'll tell you, most people are not leaders, most people are followers. And if you find somebody that has a vision and a desire to do something for God, they will follow. If they see that God is doing something in your life, they will follow. There's a bunch of people around this city right now, in the 30-mile radius right here. There's a bunch of people that are looking for somebody to be a leader, somebody to change something in their life, somebody to be something else other than just a church member, somebody to do something that's outstanding. And I'm looking at about 45 to 50 people or whatever's here. I don't have a clue. I'm terrible with numbers. I don't know how many people are here tonight, but I'm looking at you and I'm looking at you and saying, there's somebody in here right now that God has called to do something, but you're still on the backside of the desert because you're afraid to step out and do what God's called you to do. You're still not making an ark and it's beginning to cloud up and it's starting to rain and you still haven't gotten the ark started yet. There's some of you still sitting here today that God has called you to do great and mighty things and you're still trying to get all your ducks in a row. Can I tell you that ducks don't get in a row? Ducks don't get in a row until they want to go toward the water. Come on. They don't get there everywhere. Come on, help me. You're trying to get all your stuff together. And then I'll do what God's called me to do. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't happen to where you get all your stuff together and then God blesses that. No. You start doing what God has called you to do and then God starts putting ducks in the row. It's just amazing. And so Israel needed a deliverer. Israel had to have somebody. Israel needed somebody. They had to have a Moses. They had to have somebody that would come along and somebody that would change the world, if you will, for them. They needed somebody that would change everything that they knew from one thing to another thing. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to listen to me just real quick. Listen to me real quick. Do you know somebody right now that needs their world changed? Because right now their marriage is hell. Right now their children are crazy. Right now they're sick in their body and cancer's eating them up from the inside out. Right now they need their world changed because listen, their world is this. I get up, I'm sick. Yeah. Their world is this. I get up, I fight with my spouse. Their world is this. I get up and I pray for my children because my children are crazy. That is their world. Doesn't somebody need a world changer? Yeah. Doesn't somebody need somebody that's willing to be a world changer? Don't they deserve to have somebody that's willing to say, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go from the backside of the desert. I'm going to come from there and I'm going to deliver them. They don't even know who I am, but something's going to change in their life because I'm going to help God do what God's called me to do. Somebody just help me just a minute. If I can just get a little bit of encouragement, you might get out here by 8. Yeah. Hallelujah. Yeah. Amen. Okay, 7:30. Listen. Moses had to be a deliverer. I'm trying to get there where I want to go. Trying to get where I want to go here. Moses had to be a deliverer for Israel. He had to be that place. He had to be that called one. He had to be that baby that there was something special about. He had to be that baby that I'm not going to kill. I'm going to leave in a basket. See, his mother is really responsible for Israel being delivered. That's right. Yeah. You see, his mother's the one that saw something in Moses when nobody else saw anything with another little Jewish boy. His mother's the one that saw something special inside that basket. His mother, both of them, are the ones that saw something special inside that basket. His mother is the one who actually should get the credit for being a deliverer of Israel. For had she not kept him safe and not hidden him, had she not placed him in a basket and put him down the river, had she not done those things, Moses would have been eaten by the alligators just like all the other babies. But Moses had a call in his life to be a deliverer. Moses was called from hideout to called out. He was taken from hideout to called out. He was the person that was hiding out in the backside of the desert, and all of a sudden God said, I need you on the front line. So I don't know who you are today, and I don't know what's going on in your life this evening. I don't know whose family is going crazy and whose family is not. I don't know. That's not for me to know. See, things that are hidden behind closed doors, I don't really know. There's things that go on in people's lives that nobody knows about. There's people that go home and you think everything's fine and dandy, but they go home and they're worried about where their next meal's coming from. You think they have plenty of money, but they don't. Because they put on the persona. They have clothes that are now a couple of years old, but we don't notice that because they've charged all their credit cards up. They're in trouble. They have financial distress. And we think that everything's hunky and or dory. We don't know that they're one paycheck away from losing it all. We don't know that. But they have the pressure of that in their life. And when they go home, see, those are the folks nobody calls and says, hey, can I take you to dinner? Because they think that they have plenty of money. Right. And they're at home praying, God help me because I don't know where my next meal is coming from. Right. It's those people that they're hoping that they have enough money left to pay their electric bill, their water bill, their gas bill, because to get that cut off is so embarrassing because everybody thinks I've got it all together. Right. Good. And so they're the ones that are going home and they're feeling so lonely and so alone because nobody sees them as being in need. Right. Now let me just share something with you. Now, I'm just going to throw this out as an example, but Buster and Stella, I'm just going to use you guys for an example. Nobody would look at them and say, boy, I need to get them a box of food. Because they don't, I'm not saying you need it, I'm just saying, okay, please don't do it. Okay, so if they need it, if God lays it on your heart, you better do it. But listen, but if you look at Buster and Stella, and you look at the nice home they live in. They live right by the school, by Wilson School, and they drive a nice car, and Buster has a good job. And you look at them, and there's nothing wrong in their life. They surely wouldn't need anything, but we don't know as soon as the door closes what goes on the inside. We don't know if they have food. We don't know if they have electricity. We don't know if they have water. We don't know if they have gas. We don't know, but only God knows, right? And so somebody though has to be the deliverer for folks like us that look like we have it all together. I look at you right now and I see nobody I would say, yeah, they really need a box of food. No. But I don't know that. Well, I spit everywhere. I don't know that. I don't know that for sure. In my mind, I think, they're good. Nita's good. Andrea's good. They don't need anything. April's good. But I don't know what they need. I have no clue. But here's the deal. If I'm going to be called out to be put on the front line, if I'm going to be a Moses, I'm going to be a deliverer, I've got to be willing to say yes. Well, what does that mean, brother? How'd you get off topic there? Here's where I'm going with that. Even though it may look like Moses had it all together, he didn't have it all together. He was a murderer that ran away from the king. He ran on the backside of the desert. He was hiding out for his life. And God said, I don't care where you run to, I can still find you. I don't care where you're at, I can still get to you where you're at. I can find you in the midst of everything. I can find you under the Christmas tree. I can find you like an elf on the shelf. I'll find you. I'll find you. I'll get you. And he'll find you no matter where you're at. And he'll put see, because the calling that God placed on his life as a baby was still in his life as a man on the backside of the desert. There's no difference in the call. The call was this: you're going to be a deliverer of Israel. Okay, great. I can't even deliver Israel because I'm running for my life. Now, how many of you tonight, right now, you're saying, I can't be a deliverer of anybody. I can't even pay my own bills. I can't give to the building fund. I can't give to anything. I can't even pay my own rent. I can't pay my own house payment. I can't pay my own car payment. I can't pay all the insurances that we have to pay in our lives. My goodness, until I had this little insurance battle, I never knew really how much money I pay in insurance. Dear Lord, I'm getting ripped off. It is crazy. Every time I turn around, they want money from me for insurance for something. And if you don't have it, then you're in trouble. But if somebody else doesn't have it and messes up your stuff, you're still in trouble. So whatever. It doesn't matter. Okay. So Israel needed a deliverer. Moses was called from hideout to called out. He was brought to the front line. God needed a deliverer and knew exactly where to find him. So here you are sitting in church today, and you say, well, I'm not able. Stop
Come on.
You don't know what you're able to do. You don't know where you're from. You don't know what God has planned for you. Listen, he was herding somebody else's sheep. He didn't even own his own sheep. And he went from that to delivering Israel in an instant almost. From that to the, now I knew it took a long time. He grew up in the Pharaoh's house. I knew he got taught in school. He was educated. He knew the ways of Egypt. He knew all that stuff. I'm not saying God put a novice in there to be the deliverer of Israel. What I'm saying is this. One day he's delivering sheep. The next day he's delivering Israel. It's amazing what God can do in your life and do it very quickly. One day I'm sitting in the pew. The next day I'm pastoring this church. What? That's how it happens. It happens quickly. Humanity needed a deliverer, so Noah had to build an ark. What if Noah had refused to build an ark? You know what would have happened? He would have drowned with everybody else. What happens if Moses decides not to be a deliverer? Israel is still in bondage and he's still in the backside of the desert, wastes his whole life on the backside of a desert, guarding somebody else's sheep. So what are you going to do? You're going to sit in the pew, or you're going to be a Noah or a Moses? What are you going to do? Are you going to be a deliverer of people that God needs you to deliver? Are you going to be a ship builder? You're going to be a ship builder and do ark builder? It sounds better. You're going to be an ark builder and deliver humanity? Noah was minding his own business. You know, he was just cutting lumber. And God spoke to him and said, "You're building an ark?" And he's like, "You're crazy." How many of you are sitting here right now and God's spoken something in your life and you say, "God, you're crazy. You're crazy, God. My time is past." Maybe not. Maybe so. God, do something with somebody else that has more education. I don't need them, I need you. Maybe somebody that has a better desire, God. Maybe somebody has a more stable marriage. Somebody has a more stable job. Somebody has a more stable life. See, can I help you that everybody has stuff. Everybody has stuff. Nobody has this little perfect marriage, and nobody has this little perfect family, and nobody has this little perfect anything. We're all jacked up. Well, I don't believe that. Are you kidding me? God's own creation, Adam and Eve, had a jacked up family. One kid killed another one. That's pretty jacked up. God, the family that God blew breath into, that family had siblings and one killed the other one. Now, I'm pretty confident none of my kids have killed each other yet. Pretty confident. Olivia and Aiden, I'm close. But I'm not sure, but I'm pretty confident that my family's not that jacked up to where a brother kills another brother. And then he has to be shunned and sent out. He can't even stay with his family. He has to be cast out of where he's at. He can't be there because he has a mark on him now. And the end is sad. Come on now. Everybody has something.
Yeah, right.
Not everybody's sitting around here going, "Oh, we are so perfect. Everything's so wonderful." Liar, liar, pants on fire. There's a crazy uncle somewhere. There's somebody that you don't talk about. There's something that happened that you don't tell anybody. There's something that goes on that nobody talks about anymore. Somebody molested somebody, but nobody talks about it. That's good preaching. I know. I heard it. Hey, listen. But God needed a deliverer, so he called a Noah. He called Noah to do something out of the ordinary. Out of the ordinary. I look at I just look through the pews when I just look. And I see people that are extraordinary. What's extraordinary? Extraordinary. They're not just plain people. I'm going to brag on Doug a little bit. It'll probably embarrass it, I don't care. Today, he takes all the kids home after Sunday morning service, because thank you for doing that. And today he takes Alexa, Gabe, and Buddy home. There's nobody there. Nobody home. He got home about 2 o'clock. They took him to eat, drove him around. Tried to call me, but my phone was in the office. Sorry. And I was home and I'd already eaten lunch, but Doug had taken care of somebody else's children for 2 hours. We asked him to do that. He didn't have to do that. He could have dropped them off. Well, good luck. No. It's because it's extraordinary.
Yeah.
No, people don't do that. And I thank you for that. I wasn't embarrassing, but to me it means something that somebody cares enough for somebody else to go take them, to get them something to eat for lunch. Just to make sure they're safe. He could have just dropped them off, and I'm sure that they would have played outside, and it wouldn't have been any big deal, whatever. You know, they live up 9th Street in Seminole, and surely nothing too bad could happen. There's 3 of them, so. But he wasn't willing to take that chance. He was willing to give his time. That's extraordinary. It's extraordinary. And I look around here, and I see Sister Phyllis. I'm just bragging on some folks, and you guys can get mad if I don't call your name. It's okay. You'll get up. I see Sister Phyllis. Every Wednesday, she's here, and she's giving out tickets. If you don't know what tickets are, you need to show up on Wednesday. She's giving out tickets to our kids. She's selling popcorn. She's selling cotton candy and Slim Jims and whatever else, and pickle juices. But she's here every Wednesday, taking care of that stuff. Every Wednesday. She's here. She doesn't have to do that. But she does it because she's extraordinary. She's extraordinary. I look and I see, let me look here. Look. See Mark and Doris. Every Sunday they're here at 4 o'clock. I thought Doris fell this morning. I was in my office and the door got stuck on the carpet. And I was like, what in the world is going on? And so at 4 o'clock, they're here. You know what they're here to do? Back in the carpet. Make sure the trash is empty. Make sure that everything's done. So when you come to the house of God, you don't have to pick up a gum wrapper. You don't have to go, oh, there's no paper towels in the bathroom. Because they're already there. You don't have to worry about the stool being dirty because Mark's already flushed it. Make sure it's working. Right? Because they're extraordinary. Every Tuesday, the Tuesday or Wednesday, Larry, you guys come at 10 o'clock. Wednesday?
Yeah, Wednesday.
Every Wednesday, Larry and Carol and Bruce are here to make sure you have a clean place to come to church on Wednesday night. Every Wednesday. Now, they may have missed some Wednesdays I don't know about, but if I'm here on Wednesday, I know at 10 o'clock Larry and Carol will be here. I know it. I know at 10 o'clock they're going to come in and Carol is going to tell Larry how to vacuum right. Because he don't do it right. And he hasn't learned yet. But she's going to get him trained before it's over with. And so she, every Wednesday, because it's extraordinary. Extraordinary. Our youth workers at work, extraordinary. Kim, who drives, and April, who drive every Wednesday, extraordinary. So I look at you, and if I didn't name your name, it doesn't mean I don't think you're extraordinary. But every time I come and I look at you and I see your face, I look at you and I think, art builder, deliverer. They may be taking care of somebody else's sheep right now, but God's going to give them their own sheep. I believe that with all my heart. I believe that with all my heart. I believe there's coming a time when Dean Welch is going to have his own thing going on. If you haven't read his Sunday school stuff, absolutely amazing. It's extraordinary. He does a great job with that. I don't know embarrass you either, but it's amazing. I read it every week, just kind of see where they're going. And we were talking a little bit about it this morning. And it's amazing. And I'm not trying to See if I just, now what's going to happen is I'm going to make somebody mad, but I don't think so. All of you, singers, the players, everybody that makes food, Carol. My goodness, I've gained 10 pounds since Carol started cooking back in the back. Her and them will make some stuff, man. Jeez Louise. It is good. Every Wednesday, she can be at the church over in the side, whatever, but she helps us. Oh, she's extraordinary. And I look at this, and I was talking with God about it, and I said, God, we have all these extraordinary people that nobody knows anything about. And I was just, how you talk with God, and you're not really praying, but you're kind of talking, you're kind of praying, thinking at God. Not really praying, just kind of thinking at God, And one thing he said was, nobody knew who Noah was until they started building an ark. He wouldn't be in the Bible if he hadn't built it. He'd be dead. Well, he's dead now, but he would have been dead. Humanity needed a Savior. I'm going to wrap up with this. Humanity needed a Savior. Jesus was from manger to master to Messiah. He went from manger to master to Messiah. Because we needed a Savior. And He who left all of glory came for us. Jesus. Now I'm going to break it down just a little bit further, if that's okay. Can I take 15 minutes to break it down just a little further? Moses not only delivered Israel, but Moses delivered himself because Moses needed a deliverer. Moses was just as much Hebrew as all the rest of the Israelites. He needed deliverance just as much as everybody else. He had to, not only did he deliver Israel, but he delivered himself. He had to have it all or nothing. Because he would have been on the backside of the desert with Jethro all the rest of his life, or he could be the deliverer for Israel, which means I'm a deliverer for me. Now let me talk to you for just a second. Okay? You're sitting here right now. Some of you have the calling of God in your life to heal marriages. You do. Marriages that are in trouble, God has placed in you wisdom. And God has placed in you things. See, I think in the church we get disillusioned like nothing else is going on in everybody's life, like it's not in the world. Wrong. In the church, it's 50-50. In the world, it's 50-50. It's the same statistic for marriages to make it in Oklahoma. Whether they go to church or they don't go to church, it's still a 50-50 split. That is ridiculous. That tells me there's people who God has called, and I don't think God is ever taken by surprise by anything. It tells me that there's people that God has called in the pew, has given them the anointing to save marriages, who are not accepting the call of God. And they're afraid to step out of the backside of the desert because they're afraid they don't know what they're doing. And I share with you that Moses didn't have a clue what he was doing.
Right.
He made every excuse in the book as to why he couldn't do it. He told God, "You're crazy. There's no way."
Yeah.
I believe right now that there's people sitting right here that God has given the ability, God has given the witness to speak to the gay, lesbian community. But you're afraid, number one, that the church will shun you if you do that, and with good reason. People are scared. But that God has called, I don't believe that God places people without a deliverer. I know that Jesus is a deliverer. I know that He delivers. But somebody's got to tell them about Jesus. Somebody's got to take a marriage that's falling apart and say, "This is what the Word of God says. Let's put it back together. Let's build this thing back together." Are you willing? Are you willing to put your marriage back together? If you're not, I don't know what we can do for you. But if you're just looking for an answer, if you're looking for help, if you're looking for some way There's somebody God has called to do that. I promise you that. Somebody has that anointing in their life. Somebody does. So Moses not only needed to be a deliverer, but he needed to be delivered. Moses not only had to deliver Israel, but he had to deliver himself. And so some of you are sitting here today, and maybe God has placed on you a call because you're walking through that very thing.
Yeah.
Because if you'll think about this, now think about this just a second. Israel had been in bondage for 400 years. Moses had been in bondage all his life, really. Now he was the prince of Egypt, but he still knew who he was. And though he may have had access to all of Egypt, he was still in bondage because he was still a Hebrew. And though you may have access to everything in your life, you're still in bondage because there's something that's holding you back. Something that's holding you down, so you need to be a deliverer, and you need to be delivered. Noah needed a deliverer. He would have died in the flood like everybody else had he not heard the call of God. So listen, Noah, not only was he to deliver for all of mankind, but he was to deliver for his household. And so when he said yes to God and built an ark, he saved himself. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Humanity needed Jesus. We still need Jesus. I was listening to, anybody know who Robbie Zacharias is? Love Robbie Zacharias. He was telling a story about the chancellor that took place after Hitler in Germany. And he related a story how Billy Graham went to go meet with him. He called for Billy Graham to go meet with him. I think it was Billy Graham. Yeah? The age, is the age match up? I think it was Billy Graham. To go meet with him. And the chancellor said, "Do you really believe that Jesus not only died for sin, but rose from the grave? Do you really, really believe it?" And the minister, I don't know if it was him, I think it was him, but I don't want to say. The minister said, "If I didn't believe it, I wouldn't preach the gospel." And so the chancellor turns to him and says, "I pray that you're right, because the only hope for humanity is Jesus resurrected." Well, I always say this. All of humanity needs God. They still need Jesus. No matter what. And there's people sitting here in the pew right now. You're sitting in this pews right now, and you're very quiet, but that's okay. But you're sitting in the pews right now, and you're looking at me saying, "I don't know." And you're thinking of things that I said a while ago, and you're trying to turn them around in your head, and you're trying to do some other things. But listen to me for 5 more minutes, and I'll let you go. Jesus was needed by humanity. Jesus made a way. Had he not died, where would we be? We would all be lost. But he made a way. Now can you imagine? You can imagine if Jesus had said, "No, I don't think it's worth it. I don't think that Billy's worth dying for. I don't think that David and Lisa are worth dying for. I don't think that Austin and Adam and Kason are worth. And that, it's okay. They're going to hate me. They're going to beat me. I don't really want to do that." Had he not said yes, where would we be today? Listen, do you accept the call of God in your life?
Right.
It's not always fun.
Yeah, right.
It's not. It's not always fun. Sometimes you dread the call that God's placed on your life. Because it's not always easy.
Right.
Do you think Moses was all excited to go stand in front of Pharaoh? No. But he did it because it was his calling. He did it because God called him to do so. Yeah. Do you think it was always fun for Noah and his boys to build an ark that nobody wanted to get into? No. But he had to accept the calling. Do you accept this call? Or will you damn yourself and those around you to perish?
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, amen.
Had Moses not delivered, he damned people's lives to death at the hands of the Egyptians. Had Noah not accepted, he damned humanity to perish.
Yeah.
Had Jesus not accepted the call, he damned us all to be lost without hope. Now I have a question for you. And I know this is Sunday morning preachers on a Sunday night, but I've got a question for you anyway. Do you accept the call that God's placed in your life, or you just don't really want to? Not everybody wants to.
Right.
Not everybody desires a great calling of God on their life. Not everybody wants that. I can't find a place where Moses ever prayed to be a deliverer. I can't find a place where Joshua ever wanted to take his place. I can't find a place where Noah prayed to be a deliverer of humanity. I can't find a place where Jesus asked God if he could go die on a cross. I can't find a place where Paul asked to be beaten and placed in prison. I can't find a place where Peter asked to walk away from Jesus, where he said, oh, I want to deny Jesus. God, just let me deny him. I can't find that place. I can't find a place where Adam wanted to sin. He just did. I can't find it because the calling on your life is so hard sometimes. It's so dramatic sometimes. And sometimes it's so heavy that you have to just go, God, I don't know if I can carry this.
Right.
I don't know if I can bear this. I don't know if I'm able to do this. So we think of calling as on preachers. It's just preachers, right? No, it's not. Matter of fact, most people in the congregation have better callings than preachers do. What do you mean by that? Because it's the people that are sitting in the pews that God's dealing with your hearts all the time about doing something different that I can't do.
Yeah. Amen.
God's trying to get you to do something dramatic, something changing, something to change the world. Now listen, I don't know about you, but I need somebody sometimes to change my world. Mm-hmm. I need somebody besides me to lay hands on my own head. I need somebody besides me to pray for you. I need somebody besides me.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I need somebody in the pew to say, I'm going to take up the challenge and I'm going to be a prayer warrior. I don't even care if anybody knows I'm praying. I don't care if the pastor knows I'm praying. I don't care. I'm going to stand between the porch and the altar and I'm going to pray. I believe God's dealing with people like that. I need somebody that's willing to drive vans and not gripe about it. I need somebody that's willing to feed kids and not gripe about it. I need somebody that God is dealing with to put marriages back together and say, hey, I want to help you. I've been through hell and back. I know what it's like to walk through what you're walking through. To have somebody who's lost a loved one and be able to talk and minister to them and say, this is what I know. It doesn't get any easier. You just compartmentalize it. You still miss them every day. You're still going to hurt. You're still going to have times. You're still going to be broken. You're still going to, but God's going to repair your heart. God's going to heal it. God's going to put that balm of Gilead over it. God's going to, you may have a scar on your heart, but you're not going to have a wound. God is able to do those things. And I know that God is the deliverer. I know that. I know that. But when I come to church and I see faces of people who are hurting,
yeah.
I see people that are drastically desperate for the church to have an answer.
Yeah.
And we sing well, and we play skillfully, and we do all the cliche, but when the rubber meets the road,
Yeah.
when it's time to put up or shut up, are we accepting the call of God? Or are we saying, you know what? I don't want to do that. I just want to go to church.
Yeah. Amen.
Listen, there's times in my life that I just love to go to church. I just love to go to church and come in late and leave early. That'd be so awesome. I dream of that day. When I have my black shoes and my white socks and my little blue jumpsuit with the buckle in the middle, I just can't. You know what I'm talking about, right? They sell them at Sharps. Yeah. Dream of that day. can't wait. You know, it'd be nice sometimes. But it's just not in me. Because when I said yes to the Lord, I meant it. I didn't say yes for now. I say yes until I get tired. I say yes until they made me mad. I say yes until I was aggravated, disgusted, and heartbroken. Say yes. There were times when Moses was delivering Israel, he wanted to kill all of them. God, kill them all! Now Moses. Now God, 2 chapters ago, you wanted to kill them. I told you no. Go ahead and kill them now. Struck them out. Instead of speaking to the rock. I'm sure there were times when Noah was building an ark, just trying that his sons didn't want to work, and he's like, boys, I'm going to kill all of you. If you don't get that done, because it's going to rain. Dad, it's not going to rain. There ain't no rain. Just get it done. Get it done. How many years to build an ark? It's not even a football field, Lord. It's a good ark. It can take a day or two. I'm sure there's times with Jesus. You read about it, him having his conversation with the disciples. And you can hear that exasperation in his voice when he said, how long do I have to put up with this faithless generation? You can just hear it. It's like, God, just get me out of here, you know? I can't deal with these boys anymore. They don't get it. They don't get it. Now, I was studying about the disciples. We always think of disciples because they put in the movies like they're old. These are young guys. They're like 18 to 22 years old. They're not old guys. They're young. And Jesus calls them. And he had to put up with their nonsense. And he had to put up with their stuff. But it was worth it because they changed the world. Now you're sitting in a pew tonight, and I've yelled at you enough and spit at you and everything else. And you're sitting there, and God has a call in your life, and God's calling you to do some great and mighty things.
Right. Amen.
He's called you to be a deliverer. He's called you to be a counselor. He's called you to be a lot of things. Not all of you do everything, but some of you do some things. Okay? And God's placed an anointing in your life. God's placed a calling on your life. And God's put you through some things so you know how to deal with some things. You know, you can't. This is going to sound really bad. But don't tell me you know how I feel about losing a parent if you haven't lost a parent. You can have empathy for me. And you can understand that it would be very hard. And you can understand that. And I'm not saying that. But you can have sympathy for me when you've been where I've been. And you've walked where I've walked. When you've had to do your dad's funeral. When you had to speak and you had to do that. I know what that's like. And so when Billy was here, and we were talking, I could not only empathize with him, but I could sympathize with him. Because I know what it's like to lose your dad, and I know what it's like to stand there and do the funeral and compartmentalize everything and shut it all off. I know what that's like. And I also know what it's like when that wall gets broken down and you lose it over something stupid. Like a little wooden thing that his dad made. And you just lose it. I know what that's like. And I just use that as an example. And so there's some people right here right now that you've gone through some stuff that I've never been through. And God has called you to deliver some folks out of some bondages because you've walked through it. I can empathize with them, but you can sympathize with them. You know exactly what it's like. I've never lost a spouse, don't want to. Lord come before I lose mine. This lady's lost a spouse. This lady's lost a spouse. This lady's lost a spouse. Who else? Then my brother-in-law's lost a spouse. Brother over here's lost a spouse. Here's lost a spouse. They know what you're going through. I don't know. I can tell you how much my heart hurts for you. But they can tell you how much it hurts. They can tell you, and they've walked it. Are you understand what I'm telling you? Okay. God has called you. God has called you. Accept the call of God in your life because there's people depending on you. Now, to wrap this all up and make you feel a little better about yourself, because I don't want you leaving out here bad and sad, okay? To wrap it all up, here's the deal. I want to be a deliverer. I don't want to have to be delivered. You with me? You with me? I want to be the one that God's called to say, you know what? I have trust in you, and you're able, and you've got the ability, and I've given you all this stuff. You're able! You're able! And He's put this stuff into my life, and I've walked through it, and He's walked with me through it, and He's got me through it, and I'm good, I'm feeling good, I'm all right, I'm good. And I see somebody, because He's got somebody for me to talk to that has got to go through this thing, and God is able to use me and then use you to walk through life with somebody else. Isn't that cool? That they didn't kill you because God needed you. Moses didn't get caught. He ran off because God needed him to go back to Egypt. Oh! I know that it hurt to be in Egypt. I know it hurt to go through what you went through. I know it. And you ran away from it because it's easier to be away from it than to go through it, right? But the reason you made it through it is because God needs you to go back there. You got to go back. You know the way out.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Moses knew the way out of Egypt. God had him to go back to show them how to get out. There's people who are lost in their sin, and you know how to get them out. You know the way out. Don't leave them there while you're standing on the sideline saying, yeah, they should have went that way. Why weren't you over there showing them which way to go? Why weren't we talking to them and saying, listen, I know you got to go right instead of left. You got to go this way and not that way. You got to do this. You can't just do it the way you want to. Maybe you're going to find yourself still lost in the wilderness. And there's somebody sitting in a pew right now, that God has called you to be a deliverer for somebody. God has called you to be that one that shows them the way out. Boy, it's quiet.
Yeah.
Boy, it's quiet. I see extraordinary people. I see extraordinary people. I don't see somebody that's just, you know. If they make it, they make it. If they don't, they don't. No. God has blessed this place with extraordinary people.
Amen.
People that have been through things and survived. You ever wonder why some people die in the same situation you lived through?
Yeah.
You ever wonder why somebody put pills and didn't make it through? But you did? You ever wonder how you lived through your life where other people didn't make it? You think that maybe God had a plan?
Yep. That's right. Amen.
I have a question for you. You know, and this is just totally off subject, but I just think it's cool. Stephen Furtick said this the other day, and I thought, I never thought about it. When they were feeding the 5,000, they took up 10 baskets? 10 baskets full? 12 baskets full, whatever. 10, 12, that's all. A bunch of baskets full? Okay. Where did the baskets come from? And he said, I don't know this for sure, but I just thought it was cool. He said, do you think maybe Jesus loaded them in the boat before they ever left because he knew they were going to need the basket? The Bible doesn't say that. You can't prove that scripturally. But the baskets came from somewhere. So do you think that God knew you're going to make it through because he had somebody else following
Right.
that needed your basket.
Yeah. Amen. Yeah.
Then we have some groups here. We have a next step group. We have a Ignite group. We have a remnant group. Or Brother Al calls them remnants. Yeah. And so we have a men's group. We have a women's group. You know what those groups are designed to do? Eat? No. Lord, we don't need to eat anymore. Lord have mercy. They're not designed to eat. They're designed to be ministry. You know why I asked Tommy and Janet to lead Next Step? It's not because Janet's kin to my wife and Tommy's kin to me. Had nothing to do with it. Had nothing to do with it. You know what it had to do with? They had experienced what that age group is going through now. That's the reason. You know the reason I asked Joey and Kelly to do Ignite? Not because it's my brother and sister-in-law, not because I've known them all my life. Because the age they are, they've walked through what that age group is going to walk through. And they're currently walking through. See, that age group, your kids have gotten married and gone off. You have grandkids. I'm talking about Joey's group. Your parents are getting older and you're having to care for them. You know, the script gets flipped. You're used to your mom and dad taking care of you, and then all of a sudden now you got to do stuff because they can't do it anymore. That's what it was designed for. Ministry. David and Lisa, I asked David because David's... I asked them because they've done ministry forever. Ever. I can't remember them not being part of ministry. And so you guys that are 55 and whatever probably are not going to throw anything at them they haven't seen. Really. I mean, they've had to deal with some stuff. They've dealt with death. They've dealt with kids being crazy. They've dealt with all this stuff, okay? They've dealt with having to care for their parents. They've dealt with all that stuff. And so that's why I asked them to do that. It wasn't because, well, they're all kin to you, that's why you did it. Wrong. That's not, I can't help it that they're kin to me. Now I wanted to marry me, she chased me down. That's all I'm doing. Okay. I can't tell you. Okay, but that's what those things are, those groups are meant to, Buster and Juanita, they're meant to minister to that group. What if there's something they don't want to tell me? You know what it's meant to do? They can go to Lisa and David and say, hey, can I talk to you for a second? You're 55 years old, and you just lost your parent at 55, which would be a blessing. You're 55 years old, and you can go and say, listen, I don't know how to deal with this. I'm really struggling. Can you help me? David's lost his mom. He knows how to handle that. He knows how to handle it. He knows maybe not how to handle it, but he's walked through it. He's walked through it. And so then he comes to me and says, hey, just want you to know that Randy's having a hard time. Just want you to know that Randy's really struggling. Could you help me pray with Randy? Now, Randy didn't have to come tell me, but David came. He went to David, and David told me, as pastor, I need to be praying for Randy because we're going to help him go through this. That's what I'm set up to do. For Janet, it could be, hey, Josie, Josie probably would go to her mom, but it's like, hey, I'm really struggling in this area, you know. I'm going to college, and man, everybody I know is partying, and they really try to suck me into that. How do I get through this? And how do I get... And let's say it's not Josie, let's say it's Girl X, okay? And so Girl X goes to Janet and says, hey, how do I handle this? And without getting too involved, I know that both of them have walked through that, where they've had to deal with that kind of peer pressure, they've had to deal with that kind of stuff. And then they come tell me, hey, Girl X is really struggling, we need to help her walk through this. Same thing with Joey and Kelly. Hey, Jeff, who's in the group? Who's 36 to 54? Huh? Andrea, okay. Andrea's really struggling. She goes to Kelly and says, You know, Nita's on my nerves. I don't know what to do. She wants to sit behind me at church all the time. I just need some space. No, I'm just kidding. So, but you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And she goes to Kelly and Kelly and Joey, and they talk, and then they come to me and say, "Hey, Andrew's really struggling. I'm going to walk through this." You know why I was designed it? You know what was designed that way? God gave it designed to me. That's what God said. You know what the design came from? Jethro telling Moses, "You can't carry all this stuff by yourself."
Right.
That's where it came from. That's where it came from. That's what it is. It's not just another excuse to go out and eat. You guys have walked through stuff. Jen and Tom, you guys have walked through stuff. You guys have walked through stuff. Joey, Kelly, you guys have walked through stuff. You know, I asked Mark and Doris to do ushers and greeters, and man, they do so much stuff. They do so much stuff nobody even knows about. They're faithful, extraordinary. The reason I asked them to do that is because Mark is an ex-military guy. And I knew it would be done at one point. And if it wasn't, I knew Doris would tell him it's not. True? And they do an absolute fantastic job at getting things done.
Amen.
They do. I'm going to wrap it all up in a nice little pretty bow. Bam! So you guys can leave because you're about to die. Okay? Here. All that said is this. Be the Moses that delivers those that God has for you to deliver. Be the Noah and accept the calling and build the ark to save the humanity that God would have you to save. Show them Jesus, that they walk, where how you've walked in your life. Let Jesus so shine through you that someone can say, there's something about you that you can lead them out of the way because you know the way out. Show them the way out. All that said to say that is that let the calling of God that God has placed on your life and all your experiences and everything that you've walked through and all the stuff that you've walked through, let that not drag you down, but let that be something that you can share with somebody to help them through, because all these things matter. Everything in your life, I believe this. I don't believe things happen by accident. And I believe some things happen because we make stupid choices. But even our stupid choices, God uses. Because what the devil meant for evil, God turned it for good, right? Isn't that cool?
Yep.
Isn't that cool? Can I get the musicians to come back up here? Because we're going to play you out of here.